Welcome to You're Not Alone. The podcast brings you real stories of strength, hope, and resilience. Our guests are real people just like you who have faced losses, anxieties, and life obstacles but emerged stronger. Today's guest is a fierce mama and advocate in the Down syndrome community, Lena Armstrong. At 36 weeks pregnant, Lena was told her baby had Down syndrome and given options like abortion, adoption, or institutional care. But her heart said, no, my daughter is meant to be here. Now a proud mom of two, Lena is rewriting the narrative, standing up to doctors, challenging systems, and fiercely advocating for kids with special needs. This episode is about courage, conviction, and the power of mother's love. My name is Victoria Vita. I'm a mindset mentor, Reiki master, and a sound healer. I'm also the CEO and founder of Self Awesomeness and the host of this podcast. And today's guest is fierce mama, advocate, and trailblazer in the Down syndrome community, Lena Armstrong Strober. At 36 weeks pregnant, she was told her baby had Down syndrome and presented with options like adoption, abortion, or institutional care. But her heart knew the truth. Her daughter's spirit was meant to be here. Now, a proud mom of two, she became an ambassador and advocate for kids with special needs. From standing up to doctors to challenging school systems, she's changing the narrative, one empowered step at a time. Thank you, Lena, for being on my podcast today. And thank you for agreeing to share your amazing stories, your amazing story and the story of your daughter. Can you please tell us a little bit about yourself and share your journey, how you became an ambassador and advocate for kids with Down syndrome?
Absolutely. Thank you, Victoria. Thank you so much for having me here. Thank you for that amazing introduction. Wow, makes me feel so like I'm making so much change, right? I'm like,
You
I'm
are
just a
making
mom. I'm
change.
a mom fighting for my child. So telling a little bit about myself. I grew up an artist, a dancer, always performing on stage. I was in ballet by the age of 3.
Oh, wow.
Just to give you some a little bit of
Mhm.
background into why I probably have been able to advocate so strongly and
Mhm.
uh, go down this path. Uh, so I've been on stage since I was 3 years old. At the age of 8, I was already on pointe shoes. At 11 years old, I went alone to Europe, to France, to study ballet for a whole
Oh,
summer.
my goodness.
So yes, and I'm an only child. So I
Oh, your
grew
parents
up.
let you go.
Yes, I grew up already very mature and able
Mhm.
to advocate for myself.
Mhm.
In many ways, right? In many ways, we're
Yes.
still learning and learning how to advocate for ourselves, and it's an ever evolving process. But at the age of 18, I moved out of New Mexico and went to Los Angeles to pursue my dream of performing television, movies,
Amazing.
stage, performing all around the world. I immediately got an agent, started modeling, acting, dancing. So I say all of this because it was not easy. Right?
Mhm.
It was not easy to constantly be compared to others, to
Mhm.
constantly be looked at from a physical standpoint, especially in the dance world, right? Looking at, is your foot, is your knee turned out exactly to the right degree that we need it to be in
Yeah,
this
it's a
ballet
hard work.
company? Or even just, you're great, but it's just not exactly what we're looking for.
Mhm.
So um, I went through a lot of disappointment, right?
Mhm.
I had to face a lot of challenges in in that realm and in that world, right? And lots of success as well. But the number of successes do not always balance the number of quote
Mhm.
unquote failures, not getting the
Yes.
job, not being right, not having the right hair color, not
Oh,
literally being the exact right height, right? Like being compared to things where they're completely out of your control,
mm-hmm.
you know?
Yes. Yes.
So that kind of set me up, I
Mm-hmm.
believe, in a lot of ways to now be this fierce advocate for my child, where I get a lot of no, she's not capable of doing this. She's not
Mm-hmm.
capable of achieving these things. She can't be here simply because she has a diagnosis, not
Mm-hmm.
because she's ever been given an opportunity or a chance,
Mm-hmm.
but just from an outside perspective and a person who may have zero experience. And the saying goes, and is very true, if you've met one person with Down syndrome, then you've met one person with Down syndrome.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
Um, and too often, the label overshadows the individual,
I see. Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
right?
Yeah. Yes.
So,
Mm-hmm.
yeah. So that's a little bit about me and my
Yeah.
backstory and how I've gotten here. I have also I with even with our first child, I waited a long time to get married, to
Mm-hmm.
find the exact right person for me. I waited to have a baby till I knew I would be completely prepared and ready for that. And when I
Mm-hmm.
had her, when I was pregnant with my first child, our older daughter, who's now 15,
Oh, she's a
I had
teenager.
I had already, yes, and that's a whole other challenge.
Are you advocating for teenagers as well?
Oh,
Or
I
for
don't
moms?
for moms there, for moms for sure. You will get through this. At least that's what I'm hoping. So, oh, but she's an amazing, amazing daughter and
Mhm.
child and person as well. She has such a bright light, her own bright light, right?
Mhm.
She is fierce. She is fierce, and that's exactly what we want.
Yeah.
Um, so when I was first pregnant with her, like I said, I had waited all this time and I knew how I was going to do the birth, and the birth was going to be at home in water.
Mhm. Mhm.
And at that time, I was already getting um challenged, right? Like
Okay.
by family members.
Oh, by
Not
family. Okay.
not but
Yes.
not my own family, right? My husband's family.
Mhm.
They
Mhm.
were very much against me, us, because it was very much a team effort. My husband has been on board with me and he's an amazing supporter. But we both decided that it was right for me to
Mhm.
birth at home and have her at home in water. But his family was not so happy with that. We made sure that everything was in place, right? We didn't just go
Mhm.
into it blindly. Like I was very healthy. Our baby was
Mhm.
healthy. We didn't see any reason not to, right? Nothing was pointing to the signs of
Mhm.
not to give birth at home. So
Mhm.
we went down that path, and happy to say that she was born full term, very healthy. This is our first daughter
She's
at
15
home,
years old now, right?
water
At
birth,
home.
15 years old. Yes. Typically developing and, like I said, amazing.
Mhm.
Um, but I was already, even then, being challenged on what I knew was right, my instincts of how
Yes.
I needed to birth and how I needed to labor.
Yeah. Yeah. I
So,
think we know this, like as parents, we know inside what we need to do, what's better for our kids, even though they're not born yet.
absolutely. She was already a part of me. We were already
Yes.
connected, right? There was so much
Yeah.
intention. There was so much intention behind even getting pregnant with her.
Mhm. Mhm.
And
Yes.
even at that time, we didn't even know if it was a her, right?
Oh, you didn't know?
No, we waited to find out if we were going to have a boy or a girl, and
Oh,
waited
that's amazing.
until she would come out, or the child would come out, and then
Mhm.
and let us know, right?
Oh, wow. Yeah,
Yeah,
that's beautiful.
it was.
Unusual too, yes?
It is a little
Yeah.
unusual nowadays,
Yeah.
yes.
Yeah.
But we knew, and I knew that was what was the right thing to do.
Right thing to do. Mm-hmm.
Yes. So then when we became pregnant with our second, right, our
Mm-hmm.
second child, who is now 11 years old,
She's 11. Mm-hmm.
she's 11, and we had, same thing. Like we had the intention, we got pregnant, everything went
Mm-hmm.
as planned.
Mm-hmm.
We got a midwife because obviously I was on the path to have a home birth once
Mm-hmm.
again.
You
No
were
reason
ready.
not to. No reason not to.
Mm-hmm.
I'm still healthy. I mean, other than the fact that, I was an even older mom than with our first, but
Yes.
age can be relative. Age can be relative. Always been
Older
healthy.
mom, can I ask you how old you were? You said
Yes,
older mom.
I was 42
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
with our second.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. So, by
Yeah.
medical
Yes.
standards or what have you, they're really going to be looking at you like you're now like high risk.
Mm-hmm. Yes. Yes. Yes.
I have no other issues. What puts me
Mm-hmm.
at high risk? Nothing, right? So I don't listen to
To,
that. I listen
yes.
to this, my
Mm-hmm.
heart
Mm-hmm.
and my gut.
Yes.
And at the same time, not to say that I will shut out or completely disengage and not educate myself,
Mm-hmm.
right? I'm going to listen to others who that is their profession. They are going down that path. But if I listen with an open mind and I hear what they're saying and what the
Mm-hmm.
warnings are, the possibilities,
Yes.
and then I come back to, okay, but that doesn't apply to me.
Yes.
That's still not applying to me,
Mm-hmm.
right?
Yes.
I want to continue down this path. So that's where we went. And then as you mentioned, at 36 weeks, I started to show bigger, right? I started to measure bigger circumference
Mm-hmm.
wise in my belly than the gestation period where I
Mm-hmm.
should have been.
Mm-hmm.
Now this again to me personally didn't seem alarming because with our first daughter, I had excess water.
Okay,
So
I see. Yes.
I was giant with her. I mean, literally, I was like living in New York City and I'm 6 months pregnant and on the subway, and I have people going, "Oh, wow, any day now, any day now." And I'm like, I have a few
I,
more months. No,
oh
I'm not
my
there yet.
goodness.
Yeah.
Wow. So, mm-hmm.
So
Yeah.
that's still, again, I was like, not a big deal. But our midwife said, let's just go ahead and do an ultrasound,
Mm-hmm.
just to make sure. Let's see, to
Mm-hmm.
be sure that this is water and we don't have like a giant baby in there or something. Which
Yeah.
our first girl was very big, so
Oh, she
even
was
if
big too.
even
Mm-hmm.
if that was the case, I still wouldn't
Mm-hmm.
have been
Mm-hmm.
worried. And so we did the ultrasound and then suddenly received a phone call saying, it's possible that your baby will be born with trisomy 21.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm going, what? Like,
Yeah.
I have no relationship with those words. I
Mm-hmm.
don't even know what that means.
Mm-hmm.
I was completely there. It was just so foreign to me, right?
Yeah.
I didn't know anyone with Down
Mm-hmm.
syndrome. I didn't even know exactly what that
What it
meant.
mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Regardless of even knowing any of the possibilities, right? Or
Yes.
the stereotypes. I didn't
Mm-hmm.
even have that knowledge.
Mm-hmm. Like you were blank, right? Zero information, zero knowledge. So no knowledge at all.
Yes,
Yeah.
completely. So it was an absolute shock. And at the time that we had done that ultrasound, we had done it with a technician who was in training.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
And this technician was having to call in their trainer several times to have them help them. So
Okay.
I was also like, no, no, I want a second opinion. I want a
Yes.
second opinion. I don't.
Of course. Of
So
course.
we went through a second ultrasound where we were basically with an expert now in this field, and he did the ultrasound while looking at the screen at the same time and just communicated with us saying, these are the only like signs that I'm seeing where we would maybe even think that this child will be born with Down syndrome, but even then there's nothing glaring. Right? There's
Wow.
nothing glaring that says for sure. So we still kind of came out of that like, oh, but we did a blood test and that did confirm. So then we waited like, it was like another few days. We waited for the results to come back and it did confirm. And even at that point, they will say yes. So now we're at 99% chance that your child will be born with Down syndrome. But they won't even give the 100% chance until the child's born and they do a blood test from the child, right? A genetic test. So at the same time, our midwife got very nervous. And I think she got very nervous about doing a home birth because I was her last mother that she would be assisting before going into retirement.
Oh, really?
And I think she was like, this is not how I want to go out of retirement if something happens.
Yes, yes.
Right? So she basically told us, you have to birth at the hospital. Which you
didn't want to do.
Absolutely not. It goes completely counter to everything that I believe is right for me. Now, if anyone feels that it's right for them to birth at a hospital, I absolutely 100% think that they are right and they should birth at a hospital.
Yes, yes.
But so I've never pushed my beliefs on anyone, but I knew for me what was right.
Yeah, it was your decision. Yes.
Absolutely. Yeah. And so there again, went through the whole procedure. And we did this with our first daughter as well, with our first pregnancy. Went to the hospital where I would be birthing, where our daughter would come out, where I would labor and birth. Saw the whole atmosphere, saw got an idea of what that would be like. Yeah. And I absolutely went, no, this isn't right for me, because I believe very much in attachment parenting. I believe that in letting the umbilical cord completely finish. So there was just so much that wasn't going to be allowed. And I would be able to labor in the tub for a few whatever, but then have to get out as soon as she was being born.
Okay.
And I was like, not going to happen. Not for me. So we spoke to, because my husband was with me 100%. Again, like I said, completely supportive of my decision. Yeah. And we sat and we met with the head of the NICU, and she looked at our ultrasound results. So again, very well informed. She looked at our ultrasound results. She spoke to me. I told her exactly why I didn't believe that this was a good path for me. And I told her what I envisioned, what would happen. And she said, yeah, you're probably right. That is what's going to happen if you're here at the hospital. That's what we do. And she said, I don't see anything glaring health-wise with your child. Wow. No holes in the heart, right? She's full term at this point.
Yes.
No holes in the heart. No, nothing with her lungs that we can tell. And of course, she said, this is not to say that once your daughter is here and out and viable completely on her own, that things won't come up or we won't find things. But at this point, I don't see any glaring issues, concerns. So she took out her card and she wrote down her cell phone number, handed it to me. She said, listening to your story and now, getting to know you a little bit, you need to birth at home. You should have
Yeah.
your child at home.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
Here is my phone number. And if there is a concern and something happens, she goes, you call me and I will be outside your door. I will come
Oh
to
my
your
goodness. Oh, this is amazing.
Yeah.
This is absolutely amazing. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
And
So
you had
that
your
was,
daughter at home, right?
yes. So I
Yeah.
had her at home. And so fast forwarding, went home, fired my midwife.
Mm-hmm.
And just about a month prior to that, I had been in an herbal class, a pediatric herbal class, and I'd met a midwife there who I really connected with. And
Mm-hmm.
in that moment, when I really connected with this midwife, I thought, oh my gosh, I wish she was my midwife. So, of
Your wish
course,
came true.
my wish came
Right?
true. I called her, I told her the whole entire
Mm-hmm.
story of what was happening, and
Mm-hmm.
that I now didn't have a midwife anymore because I was firing my midwife, and
Mm-hmm.
asked her to come on board. And she was more than happy to come on
Oh,
board and
wow.
honored. And she was amazing. Our daughter was born at
Mm-hmm.
home in water, perfect, exactly the way we had
Mm-hmm.
envisioned, the way I had
Yeah.
envisioned.
Mm-hmm. That's amazing. Yeah, that's really good that you went with your gut feeling and your heart feeling to have her at home, and you had a support as well. Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes. I was going to say, even just getting the diagnosis though, right? Like going into that a little bit, it was tough. It was
Mm-hmm.
tough. It was not easy. And I think that, in that moment, there's so much that a mother is going through in finding out that the child that they are carrying is different
Mm-hmm.
from the child that they thought they were carrying,
Mm-hmm.
if that makes sense.
Yes, it totally makes sense. Yes.
Because there is such a connection with having a life grow inside of you.
Yes.
And
Yeah.
when suddenly the outside begins to put labels
Mm-hmm.
on what that life inside of you is
Mm-hmm.
or could be
Mm-hmm.
or could not be,
Yes.
right? And so I think that it's so difficult when you're going through that experience yourself, as a mother, of having to come to terms with
Mm-hmm.
feeling differently about the child in you, and not like in a negative way, but
Mm-hmm.
just in a way of realization of,
Mm-hmm.
okay, this is going to kind of change what I thought my life trajectory was,
Yes.
or what it is right
Yes.
now.
Mm-hmm.
And then to have the outside world coming at you with, here's another book, here's
Mm-hmm.
another stack
Yes.
of all the possibilities of what your child will probably never be able to do.
Mm-hmm. Okay, so
Because
this is
that's how it's
labels.
framed, right? Your
Mm-hmm.
child may never this, your child
Mm-hmm.
may never that, your
Mm-hmm.
child may never. And for those reasons, because you are now being given this new quote unquote information, right? I'm talking from the
Yes.
outside perspective of what they're giving you and what they're actually saying. What I was actually
Yes.
told
Mm-hmm.
was, you have the option still. You can have her and we did find out the sex. This one we already knew for the second
Mm-hmm.
time around, because I wanted to know if we should keep all of our daughter's clothes or not. We want to know if we're having a girl or a boy the second time around. So it was a little different in that regard. So we knew it was a girl from the beginning. But you can have her and institutionalize her.
Mm-hmm.
You can have her and put her up for adoption.
Mm-hmm.
And because you live in the state of New Mexico, you can actually even still abort.
Oh my goodness. At
And
36 weeks.
36 weeks,
It's crazy.
which, yes, it is crazy. It's
Mm-hmm.
absolutely crazy.
Mm-hmm.
From an outsider's perspective looking in, that is crazy.
Yeah.
But because those options were all on board, and you maybe already have an idea that I am a person of like, I need to be fully informed about everything
Yes.
before I make a decision, because I feel like information is power.
Yes, I agree.
So
Mm-hmm.
I looked at what each of those options would be,
Mm-hmm.
right? And
Mm-hmm.
ironically enough, I really did. I knew that the option was being given to me, of course, of like, you can have her and keep her.
Mm-hmm.
I knew that option was, of course, always on the table. But interestingly enough, that wasn't like one of the options that was given.
Mm-hmm.
It was like
Mm-hmm.
an unspoken understanding that option was already
Yeah.
there, right?
Interesting. Yes,
Yeah.
yes.
Yeah.
Uh-huh.
So looking back at that, that's interesting that it was like, you
Yeah.
can choose this, this, or
This,
this.
yeah, and like there is no fourth option.
Of course
Yeah.
that's there, right?
Mm-hmm.
So I did delve into mentally, what would
Mm-hmm.
this option look like if I went down this road? What would
Mm-hmm.
this option look like if I went down this road? What would this option look like if I went down this road? Right?
Mm-hmm. Yes.
And I'm so glad, and I'm so incredibly grateful for all of those options,
Mm-hmm.
because ultimately, in the end, I chose to have her.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Yeah. Ellie, right? Her name is Ellie.
Aaliyah. Aaliyah.
Aaliyah.
Yes. So
Mm-hmm.
I chose to have Aaliyah and keep her.
And keep her, yeah. And now you're fighting for her. You have somebody who is an advocate for parents as well, right? So I'm sure it was tough, and you said it was tough to choose to make this to make that decision, but
Mhm.
also I'm sure it was tough when you had her, because it was different than with your first daughter. What kept you motivated? What kept you going?
You know, I think I told you the story about how I was pregnant with her, and we'd gotten the diagnosis, and it was like any day now, and I'm still, before, prior to, well, actually, I think I'd already gone to the hospital and I'd already
Mm-hmm.
been given that kind of green light, but I still was like, am I
Yeah.
making the right choice? Am I making the right
Mm-hmm.
choice? We were in our house and it was raining outside, but our older daughter was there, and she was 4 years old. And I said, let's go outside and dance naked in the rain. Right. And we could do that. We have that ability. We had that ability in our backyard where we're
Mm-hmm.
sheltered, and we could do that. And, she was 4 years old. She's like, let's go.
Yeah, let's
Right.
go. Yes. Warm
Go for
rain.
it.
Why not? Yes.
Right. And so we went and I danced with her, with our older girl, Zoelle. Her name's Zoelle. We danced in our backyard in the rain, naked,
Mm-hmm.
just having fun and laughing and joking. And Aaliyah was there as well.
Yeah, she was there. Yeah.
Yeah. And because, again, there were people, and not my family, but family, other family members that were of the like mind, that, like, I literally was told by one of our family members, God has given you this out of having an abortion right now, and you should take it.
Oh my goodness.
Yes.
Oh my goodness. Okay. Mm-hmm.
And
Very supportive.
other family members saying, not on my side, other family
Mm-hmm.
members saying, think about what this is going to do to your older girl. Think about what
Mm-hmm.
this is going to do to Zoelle.
Mm-hmm.
So when myself, Zoelle, and Aaliyah in my belly, were outside dancing in the rain and joyful and having fun, I think that just kind of, for me, it set a tone of, we're going to get through this.
Mm-hmm.
This isn't necessarily going to be a bad thing.
Yes.
There can be a lot of good that will come out of this.
Mm-hmm.
And after a while, the rain stopped and Zoelle went back inside and she got dried off, showered, cleaned up. And I stayed outside and I just kind of like wrapped myself in a towel
Mm-hmm.
and I sat in the grass just to kind of be alone and be with
Alone.
myself and my thoughts and well, with my baby, really.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
And a beautiful rainbow came out.
Oh,
A full rainbow came out. And I knew in my spirit, I knew that was spirit talking to me.
Yeah.
Right? I've always had a connection with rainbows my whole entire life. And anytime I've been going through a challenging time, I've asked for guidance through rainbows.
Oh, really? Yeah. Oh, that's for sure. It was your sign and it was the message. Yeah.
And there it was. There it was, loud and clear. And I knew in that moment. And so Aaliyah, her middle name is even Rain.
Oh, your middle name is Rain.
Yeah. Because she rained down on us. She's rained down on our family. She has cleared and helped renew. She's refreshing. She is she's refreshing. And not to say that, there aren't still challenges, because there are challenges. There are always challenges with every child.
Yes.
And I would also add that I was so incredibly blessed to have the support of my family on my side, saying, whatever you decide, whatever you choose, we will back you 100%. Right? And like, not choose this path, or this path.
Yes.
Any of them.
Yes.
Any of them.
Yeah. That's support.
Yes.
Yeah.
And I also was so blessed to have such strong, fierce female friends.
Okay. So it was your female circle.
Very much. One of my girlfriends who we were professional dancers together, Jen Garrett, in Los Angeles.
Oh, in LA.
In LA, back in our early 20s. I had looked on her Facebook when I got this news and I thought, does her child have trisomy 21? I can't tell, but maybe. And so I called her and I said, I have a very odd question to ask you. Oh. And she said, what? And I asked her, I said, does your son have Down syndrome? And she said, yeah, he does. Why?
Oh my goodness.
And and then of course I told her, this is what we're going through. This is where we are. This is everything in a nutshell. And her response was so beautiful and so supportive and exactly what you want to hear if you're going through this situation where the doctors, the quote unquote specialists, are giving you all of the right. She basically said, it's not what they're telling you.
Oh my goodness, this is the best message.
Yes.
Oh my goodness.
She said, it is not what they're telling you. This is an amazing thing. It's a blessing. And you've got this, right? Basically, like, you've got this. You've been chosen also. And then I had other girlfriends that were like, oh my gosh, Elena, this is the most amazing thing happening because you are going to be such an incredible mom.
And you are. Yeah. And I think you're helping a lot of other moms to go through this and realize you're an amazing mom. Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Yes.
So
and you are an amazing mom because you're not only taking care of your family, you're also speaking up for kids. And I think you mentioned that you started monthly group, like Facebook group, right, to support other parents,
Yes. Well, I'm
right?
in the process still of, I mean, it's been just a small circle right now,
Mm-hmm.
but I came to this realization, especially because I know some other moms, because I've been a member of the Rio Grande Down Syndrome Network here for 7
Mm-hmm.
years, a member for 11 since Leah was born,
Mm-hmm.
but a board member for 7.
Mm-hmm.
And I've met some other just amazing advocate moms and inspiring parents. Right, I don't want to limit it to just mothers. Lots of fathers out there too that
Father,
are
yep, parents,
amazing
parents.
work.
Mm-hmm.
But and I started to recently go, oh my gosh, we do so much advocating for our children. What about us?
Yes, what about parents? Yes.
We need some time, we need some support, even if it's
Correct.
just getting together and having a conversation.
Yes,
Um,
yes.
so I did, it's still in the process. Like I said, it's very new. We've only had one meetup, but just to get together and talk about like, well,
Mm-hmm.
this is what's going on with me right now. And this is what's going on.
Mm-hmm.
And this is more about, setting the intention of
Mm-hmm.
this is where I'm struggling right now. And this is where I need some support.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Yeah, and maybe somebody went through that experience before, right? Because I guess you guys have moms with different age kids, right? So they
Yes.
can share the experience. And as you said, your daughter now is in a fifth grade. She goes to school,
Yes.
right?
Mm-hmm.
Aliyah, she goes to school. So
Oh,
was it tough for you to get her to school? Or, I mean, did you have to fight for it? Or they were
absolutely.
more open-minded?
It has been a fight the whole entire time because research
I'm
after
sorry.
research shows that children with Down syndrome benefit from learning with their typically developing peers in
Mm-hmm.
the setting. So, inclusion, it basically shows that inclusion works,
Mm-hmm.
right? Like
Mm-hmm.
our children with
Yeah.
Down syndrome will rise to any challenge presented to them. It just takes them longer to get there.
Longer time. Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
That's it, right? They are fully capable of reaching every single goal that they set out for themselves or that others set out for them.
Mm-hmm.
It's just going to take them a little bit more
Longer.
work and it's going to take them a little bit longer,
Mm-hmm.
right? They have their struggles,
Yeah.
but inclusion is a big asset to,
Mm-hmm.
to all children with different learning abilities, but it's also such a great asset to typically developing children as well.
Mm-hmm.
They learn empathy, they learn
Yes.
understanding, and they also then so the thing is, we don't live or work as adults in a segregated world,
Correct.
right?
Yes.
So
Yes.
why should schools start out in segregated
Mm-hmm.
spaces? So when they're included, all children learn like, oh, that child's just different,
Yes.
but not
Yes.
less than, or
Mm-hmm.
doesn't need to be segregated,
Yeah, excluded
right?
or segregated or
Exactly.
mm-hmm.
So I have, well, my husband and I both just pushed for inclusion
Mm-hmm.
and whatever we've needed to do because we have had some insane battles with the schools, but she has been fully included. Fully
Oh,
included.
that's amazing.
Yes.
Congratulations, guys.
Thank you. Thank you.
Yeah.
And now she's going into middle school. And so now we have to look at, because every year is different. We have to look at, okay, so this has been great. We've had
Mm-hmm.
our fights, but it's been great that we've accomplished what we needed to.
Yes.
And now we have to look at, so but are they actually educating her now?
Oh, I
Right?
see. Mm-hmm.
So it's excellent that she's had these opportunities
Mm-hmm.
to be with typically developing children and in a gen ed setting, But is she really getting the support that she needs? And are they actually looking at her potential
Oh,
and
I see.
teaching to her potential, right?
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
Or are they allowing her to be there and that's it?
That's it. So
You know?
yes, yes.
Because
Uh-huh.
we have taught her to read, we taught her to count, we're teaching her math. We're feeling a little bit like the academics are lacking right now.
Mm-hmm.
So next year, maybe it'll look different for her,
Yes,
right?
yes.
But
Yeah.
we're still the driving force in making those
Mm-hmm.
decisions, as opposed to others telling us what is
Yes.
best for her.
Mm-hmm. 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 So you basically, as a parents, you take control and you do what you think best for your child, beginning with giving birth at home, right? And pushing it forward so she feels included. She does her homework, right? You probably spend a lot of time as well helping her out. But at the same time, you're looking what's best for her, not what society tells you to do.
Exactly. Very
Mm-hmm.
much so. Very much so. Yes. And also looking at just what she is capable of, right? Because
Mm-hmm.
society will continue to say that she, because of her diagnosis, or any child with a
Mm-hmm.
diagnosis, isn't going to be capable of X, Y, and Z,
Mm-hmm.
right?
Mm-hmm.
Rather than looking at the individual.
Yes. Putting
Yeah.
labels, as we said, right? As you said, they
Right.
put labels. Mm-hmm.
Yes.
Mm-hmm.
Yes.
So, looking back, she's 11 years old now, and you are advocating for her and for parents and for kids. What do you feel you've learned from this experience?
Oh, wow. Oh, okay. I would say the thing that I've learned about myself, I'll start
Mm-hmm.
there. The thing that I've learned about myself is that I've learned endurance.
Mm-hmm.
Like when I feel like I simply can't continue,
Mm-hmm.
and that happens, right?
Yes, I
We all get
understand.
beat down, but this
Yes.
is definitely the path that I'm on is a very unique path.
Mm-hmm.
Um,
Yes.
and there are many times where I feel like I just can't
Can
anymore.
yeah.
I
Mm-hmm.
can't anymore because this is what they're saying now, or this is, the quote unquote they,
Yeah.
um, not going to be allowed to this anymore, not going to be allowed to that anymore, or what have
Mm-hmm.
you. And then we find our ways around those. But sometimes it's just hard when you feel like so many barriers come up.
Mm-hmm.
So the thing that I've learned about myself in this whole process is that I am stronger than I think.
You are a very strong woman. Yes. Mm-hmm.
Um, and then I've just learned that, I've definitely learned that because Aaliyah is constantly teaching me about how much more she can keep doing, keep
This is
learning,
mm-hmm.
keep growing. There's no limit.
This
There's
is amazing.
no there's no peak. There's no
Yeah.
end point to her learning in any way
Mm-hmm.
or any of her abilities. Right? There might be like small setbacks and then we have to deal
Mm-hmm.
with that. And I'm saying like cuz things do come up, issues of health
Mm-hmm.
up, and then you have to look at that and you have to troubleshoot and say where is this coming from, and let's make sure we rule things out,
Mm-hmm.
right?
Mm-hmm. Yes.
So that's the greatest lesson that I've learned from her. um Zoelle, our older daughter, I've learned sibling love.
Oh. Mm-hmm. So
Because
she loves
growing up,
her.
oh, she does, they love each other very much. And that's not to say that they don't fight
Yes.
argue, because they are siblings and they're sisters,
Yes.
and they're in different age groups. They're
Yes.
just, on
Mm-hmm.
different ends of the spectrum.
Yes.
But the love that they have for each other is pretty amazing. Pretty amazing.
Mm-hmm.
And I say that because I grew up an only child, so I
Mm-hmm.
didn't ever see that firsthand. So it's really amazing to see that. And then from my husband in this whole process, I've learned the importance of family and
Mm-hmm.
keeping the unit together, us four staying together, the two of us, him having my back. Um,
Yes.
and even when I'm at my wit's end and I'm freaking out, and not because of him or even anything
Mm-hmm.
that's happening with the family unit, but like what's happening with the bigger picture
Mm-hmm.
sometimes,
Yes.
and him just being my solid rock and going, okay, and just letting me do my thing.
So he is your big supporter, right? So you're standing ground.
Very much.
Yeah. Yeah. This is so you've learned a lot from this experience. Like, and it looks like more about family and how big that love can be. Sometimes we limit probably our life, but this you see the endless love to your kids,
Yes.
family, and your husband.
Mm.
Yeah, this is very beautiful.
Thank-
What advice would you give to someone who is going through similar situation right now?
Oh gosh. I would definitely say, I guess my biggest advice would say, reach out and find a community.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
That would be my biggest advice.
Mm-hmm.
Of if anyone is out there that suddenly gets a diagnosis that they're unfamiliar with or is new territory to them, to find that community, because there's
Mm-hmm.
always someone out there who has either gone down a similar path or is already a little further along.
Mm-hmm.
And again, just that knowledge is power. So talking to other people
Mm-hmm.
really helps to find your own way. And
Mm-hmm.
then I would
Yes.
also say that at the same time, always stay true to yourself and listen to your own instincts, right?
Trust
So
yourself. Yes.
decipher, right? So
Mm-hmm.
find your community, but
Mm-hmm.
decipher which
Mm-hmm.
messages and which wording applies to you.
Yes. Mm-hmm. Yes. Yeah, that's actually, I think it applies to everything in our lives, right? So trust our own feelings and having community. Yeah.
Yes, exactly.
Thank you, Lena, so much for sharing your amazing story, for being strong, and for bringing this beautiful child here to be with us, with you in 2000. What is the year 2025? So I forgot what the year was. Thank you for all your hard work that you do. Thank you for supporting families, for supporting parents, for advocating for kids with special needs and allowing them to be in school, not to feel to be included. And it also, I think, brought in other kids life views as well when
Mhm.
she is included. Thank you so much for doing everything that you do. It is amazing, powerful, and you're a very strong woman.
Thank you. Thank you. And yeah, and Aaliyah and I will be in DC,
Oh,
right? Take
yes.
with me to DC because I am the ambassador to New Mexico for the National Down Syndrome Society. So we'll be there for an advocacy conference in April. So I hope to meet you in person then, and you'll get to
Yeah.
meet Aaliyah. But yes, I'm
Looking forward to.
getting her on track to be a self advocate, and
Yeah. Oh, this is amazing. Yeah. So she's learning and you're learning with her as well. Yes.
very
Yeah.
much, very
Yeah.
much, yes.
Oh, thank you very much. And you can find more information and connect with Lena by following the links below this episode. And if you feel overwhelmed with constant challenges and pressure, download my 3 favorite techniques that will help you to boost your calmness and help you to stay grounded and live in the present moment. And I want to thank you one more time for being here, for sharing your experience and your motivating and encouraging story. And we wish you the best of luck. Looking forward to seeing you soon. And please don't forget to subscribe so you don't miss another powerful story. And remember, no matter how tough things get, you are not alone.